Hello, I'm Chris Lapadillos, Stasiopoulos, and wow, that's pretty bright right there. Yeah, tech support's coming out for that, and probably caused the issues I had earlier. So I've recorded this after the conversation with Lisa because I missed the first little 15, 10 sec to maybe 2 minutes of conversation before I realized, because I updated this computer, it wasn't recording for some reason, so I missed the first part of it. I'm sorry about that. But I was just basically introducing like this AI topic, and her question was like, does the AI see what I'm doing? Can my company see that I'm using an AI tool in my private account that I pay for? Can they see possibly what I'm doing? Are these cyber security companies, with their big hype, like, oh, if somebody puts in protect confidential information that can be leaked out by the AI and stuff like that. It's like, no, the AI companies have all the data already. I go into this a little bit, but so I explained some things that she had some that I hear a lot of people talk about. She had the same concerns a lot of people hear about talking about, like, because there's a lot of hype with this AI stuff. A lot of these companies are pumping their stock prices. They're getting involved with governments. Governments are run by these boomers who don't understand what the technology is and don't understand they're involved with scam artists. Maybe they may be scam artists themselves. Anyway, I'm going to cut in the rest of the conversation, but this is my friend Lisa.
My side gig, and so I always look at it as a tool. It's another tool in my toolbox. But when I received some information from my corporate employer, it sort of made me think, oh, are they able to track my activities using chat, and are they able to see the level of usage that I use, and so on and so forth. And I feel no, but the fear comes into play. The lack of technical coding knowledge and background for me is really low, and that's why I reached out to you.
Yeah. So you're asking if they can, if by using these AI tools, which you have your own private account for, that they will be able to somehow go back and see that you particular user, you Lisa, is going through and asking these questions and inputting stuff and getting data and getting speeding up responses, and you're thinking that they will be able to somehow look back that you're doing this because you're seeing this messaging from the cybersecurity company, which they're on their death throes, by the way. They're in a lot of trouble, actually, and you're seeing this marketing thing that's being passed around your office as a legitimate piece of technical analysis about what should be done. So is this why you have this concern?
Yeah, because I'm using a VPN, and I'm just thinking, like, can they actually track my amount of activity using AI tools external, but through the VPN, and and what's the risk and worry of that? And then there was a really outrageous thought that came through on an entrepreneurship group that I'm in on, and they actually warned me not to use confidential information in AI, Chat GPT, that type of thing, um, because other people could see that sensitive information potentially.
Okay, who's telling you this? By the way, I just gotta ask who are these people who are telling you this is an entrepreneurial group? Where are they getting? Are they technical people? Are they getting the information from
No,
the marketing? I have to assume it's coming
these
from.
are non-technical people.
Okay, yeah. So they're just getting the full frontal brunt of this hype wave coming through. That's leveraging Netflix sci-fi series to fool people when they're usually in these marketing things. They'll say what could be and versus what we actually have available today versus what we think we'll have available in the future.
Hmm.
They always conflate and confuse all these things round and round. And the only uh, see, as normal people, the only like level of conceptual abilities we have to see is the sci-fi movies they give us 24/7.
Yes, yes,
And this
that's
about these
right.
paranoid police state things, this surveillance state stuff, which the state level actors do actually have quite a bit of capabilities, but they are historians, right? They're not forward thinking at this point. I mean, they may in the future, like we're talking 50 years from now. And if they have this ability to do these kinds of things, It's going to be a man-free world. So it's like we have another whole other. That's you're introducing if you're assuming a capability that would allow them to eliminate most humans.
And that's what people fear, you know. And so,
Well, it's a real fear because this is what they want to do. This is who are the people in charge of these things. This is why they keep pumping out this message. This market, they don't have the ability to do this right now. I just let me assuage your fears. What you're asking about, like there's total surveillance on your particular account. They don't have that now. The AI companies are scraping the shit out of what everyone's doing to to create a portfolio of features that meet the demands of the users so they can to eliminate you eventually.
right, I see that.
That's the concern. But that's like 10 years away. And honestly, that's a lot of maybes and couldas and shouldas and maybe. And even at the end of that, they're still going to have someone who says this is a good idea or not.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, like, bottom line, can they monitor my activity if I'm using their VPN?
Who's they? Let me just think about who's they. Like, who are you concerned about?
My corporate employer.
Yeah, without having the same account, they're not going to know. Yeah, there's millions of people using this thing. How are they going to identify your particular account doing these things? And by the way, everyone's entering employee data and all that stuff into these systems. They already have it. Oracle and all these companies, they have all the data on everybody already.
They're trying to curb us from using it.
Correct. I think they're trying to get so a lot of this messaging is directed at by companies for other companies that they're looking to monopolize, right? So there's a monopoly effect happening here. So the lower level people who honestly are concerned about this and should be concerned about this and maybe have a bullshit job to begin with, yeah, maybe you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You're about to get so people who are like trying to manage all this stuff and they think that they can't do it then they can't do it themselves, but they want to manage it. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. So yeah, they should be panicking. Actually,
they might be panicking, but also I think the more senior levels that direct them to share this sort of message don't understand what we're talking about. The senior executives, the boomers.
Yeah, the boomers. They really, really, really want to keep their positions, and they also don't want to get their hands dirty with the details. Because they don't want to get their hands dirty with the technical details of the actual capabilities and what's actually their business are doing and what they're doing. Yeah, they should be really concerned because honestly, the value add is going to be understanding what the customer wants and what's going on the ground. And if you're thinking you can just manage your way so you're in trouble, man.
Well, thanks, Chris, for helping me feel a little bit more at ease on that. I know that you know the tech side very well, so the risk is sounding very, very extremely low.
Very low. The thing is they're doing it. So that's the other thing too. It's like this messaging that's coming through is also stuff they're already like not the capabilities of superhuman, but the collection of data and all that stuff. Come on. They already have all that. So they're trying to avoid the competition, I think. And also, a lot of these people don't really think much more than a quarter ahead, right? These companies are trying to build their stock prices so they can survive another 6 months. Because dude, when you get down to what they're actually doing, like they've had these massive promises of these, we're going to eliminate all these software developers. They haven't eliminated anything. They haven't eliminated shit. All they've done is cut people who honestly should not have been hired to begin with. Like we went through this 15 years of this zero interest rate policy environment where people got money for free so they could just hire everybody and it was free. It was basically free. And when the junk, and then you wake up the next day, when the wake up the next day was like, okay, we're in hyperinflation mode and people can't afford eggs. That's when we had to do this pullback. And there's a very common thing that they blame some new technology, which they're blaming the AI for actually overhiring people that were not capable of doing the job, and they were doing bullshit jobs. So I'm sure you've heard about this thing about bullshit jobs, and like most of the people's jobs is bullshit. So, and to keep them maintain the previous economy, they had to do that. But I think see, this is the other thing too, is like the business people know this is all unsustainable. You can't have a bunch of managers who don't know how to do the actual job managing people, like a very small number of people who actually know how to do the job. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And they've been able to get away with it with this fake money system, but that's coming to the end now. And so they're trying to scare people. They're trying to make their sales numbers. A lot of this stuff is like here in tech, a lot of this stuff is sales driven. I have to keep telling them, like, stay this. People are seeing, they're seeing the, what's it called? The objections, right? They're meeting objections and then coming back around with an alternative or another way of looking at it, or blah, 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 or we got the XYZ right around the corner. And also, a lot of this stuff is just sales driven to keep their stock price pumped. Because the top 5, top 10 companies right now are running the entire economy. They're worth trillions of dollars. Really? AI? It's worth trillions of dollars? It's just chips that add up numbers real fast. That's worth trillions? No, so there's a big problem. There's a big problem with the financial system, and that's really what the issue is that they can't maintain this Ponzi scheme much longer, and they're trying their best to keep everything like it was 10 years ago, and they're just not going to be able to do it, and that's the panicking they're starting to set in. Yeah,
exactly, and that's why they're throwing the fear out. It feels like it's sort of like people who don't really understand it. They'll of course gravitate towards that message, and then there's the others like me who question it and actually use the tools and understand a little bit more of the bigger picture. You know, kind of have to ignore their silly messaging because it's silly. It really it's for people who don't get it.
Yeah, it's mostly meant for people that are not that smart and kind of fall for the bombastic sci-fi things and aren't willing to go look into actually what's going on. So they're monetizing people's ignorance. That's really what's going on here. Is that, as they always have done many times in the past, the standard model is they monetize people who can't defend themselves. That's who they do. That's how they go after. That's who its messaging is for. It's really shitty, but they do it. It's what they do. And if you can see when they've gone off the rails and realize it's like they can't do that stuff. And if they had the ability to do it, we living in this other type of world, we probably wouldn't even be existing because they would murder most of us. Look, if they could do a robot that could that acted like humans enough to do all these jobs that they say that are going to be done, the self-driving is never going to happen. But they keep saying, so the moment that becomes a thing, humanity is doomed. It's like, but they're never going to get there, right? Because look, man, there's this smart people just like, look, no, you can't do that. You're not going to be able to kill us all. Like there's smart people that are like, no, you're not going to kill us all. It's not a thing. Stop. But you're not.
It seems like they're trying. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Most of this shit's voluntary, right? All the guys in World War I, World War II, most of those people, even though they were quote unquote drafted, they were down. You look at their diaries. Most of those guys were down to kill. And it's like, hey, if we can use you guys to kill each other and eliminate some of the problems that you guys cause, we'll go for it. So a lot of this stuff is that. It's really designed for people and aimed at people who maybe should not be around. You know what I mean? Maybe they're causing more problems than they're worth.
I love our conversations. We go from the risk of using AI in the workplace to the world is going to implode.
Well, it's not going. It's going to implode for some people, right? So, I mean, having this level of dumb people around is bad. You have to admit, it's bad. You can't have this many people ignorant, foolish, acting retarded, violent. You just can't have it. You can't have a functioning society with that number of people around. So a lot of the stuff is messaging for them. Go get the jab. Believe AI. Your job is almost over. Go consume opiates till your eyes fall out. You know, go do massive amounts of drugs. Give up.
What's their main concern about sharing confidential, maybe proprietary information?
It's getting sued, of course. It's always they're deathly afraid of lawsuits because honestly, they can end a business.
Mhm.
and it will be weaponized. They don't just, so these cybersecurity companies who are promoting this thing are also doing the other side too, where they're trying to go after people who are, they're doing it both. They're playing well. There's look, it's never just one thing.
Never.
With these fucks, they always got the angles covered, right? By the time you hear the messaging, they already got the angles covered. So yeah, it's designed. It's designed for people. A lot of stuff, like there's gonna be a big middle management people that are gonna lose their positions unless they adapt to some of these technologies and some of the stuff. They're just and those are the people who are
Yes.
freaking the fuck out because yeah, you can't have your cushy job and just tell you go do it, you go do it, you go do it. It's like you gotta know you have to do it now. You have to tell the AI how to do it now. You can't just order people around. Now you got to be competent enough to order the AI around to do it because you're just that's the value you have. You can't if you don't know how to do that stuff, if you don't know how to multiply your abilities and use your curation of what the thing should be doing and how it should be doing it, you're not gonna be a part of it. Sorry, that's just
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say that. I mean, it's like the buggy whip manufacturers were like when no more buggies were around, you got to learn how to crank a wrench versus
That's it.
wrap a piece of leather.
So adaptability, exactly, and it happens generationally and as new technologies evolve. So this is just another kind of partner history that is evolving,
Yeah,
and
it's like curation. It's more going to be humans are going to need not necessarily for curation for like is this ethically correct? Is this can I
yes,
get does this serve my customers? Is this in their best
exactly.
interest? And the customers you will attract will understand that you're the curator of these things that are better
Yeah,
than average because of your taste, because of your
yeah,
context about who you are, and taking all that into consideration. That is going to be like the new thing because we have the ability to do that now. We had spreadsheets were like the first introduction of this because before that you had to write and do an adding machine which was tedious, right? So a lot of that tedium is going to go out of it, and it's more like curation because we can make it
yes,
like
100%.
yeah. So it's like so what is your ethics? What is like is does your company believe in that stuff? It's like people real human beings are going to be like paying attention to that because they're going to have AI, right? That's going to look for this kind of stuff that says, hey, yeah, these people actually do take care of you, and they charge more, but it's worth it, right?
Hmm.
That's where we're getting to. It says running to the bottom of the pile. The cheapest the cheapest option is not going to be how things are happening in the future.
I love that. I love that. That's really interesting. Well, thank you for that. I mean, that's definitely a great point for me to lead off on from this conversation is the curation piece. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really what's it's going to be. That's going to be the thing in the future. But right now we're in this gap where this technical ability is there, and people are going to try and use it to do the old way, which is run to the bottom, cheapest thing. It's like now we're going to go this other way where it's going to be like human qualities and AI are going to be looking for this. That's how people are going to use their AI. It's like I don't want to be scammed. Please tell me who I can talk to that's not going to be scamming me, because the scams are going to be out of control. Like they already are.
They already are. Yeah,
They already
yeah.
are.
This
So.
is this is underway as we speak for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I really appreciate talking to me about this, Lisa. I sometimes I have a weird opinion about these things, but I also know what the capabilities are and how much freaking sci-fi bullshit they've been jamming down our throats, and how much the marketing blends those two together. And that's really there should be a law against that. Like you got to demonstrate these things. These people have to demonstrate all these things that they think are coming. Look, they've been saying it for years now, right? It's gonna take everybody's up. It's like if they had that ability, they've already ramped it up because they would have made an AI that simulates the human to make a more improved human, they would already be doing that. But that's not how the technology works, okay? It's not. That's not how it's put together. That's not how it works. It will never be that. Like the whole Devin replace your software developer for 2,000. Where did that go? And everyone was like, "Oh my god, my job it's over." It's like no, no. Even if that happened, you'd still have to have a software developer who would curate what the thing is doing and can guide it and all that other stuff too. So that's not going away anytime soon. Now the people who would like to just say give the who really think they can just give a software developer the task like do the thing like they have been doing cheaply, no, that was never a thing in general. They just kind of got away with it for a little while because everyone was doing these CRUD apps and it was all the same thing every time, so it wasn't that big deal. But now we're getting away from that. We're going to do this niche down, very focused for your audience, for your people who care about the things you care about. That's where we're going with this stuff. That's my opinion, but Anyway,
Sounds decent.
I will let you go the rest of your day. Thanks, Lisa, and I have permission to post this.
Yes, thank you, Chris.
All right, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Bye for now.
Bye.